Alright guys, we are back for another match here. We're going into the semi-finals, and as Atma said, it's going to be Imperia, someone who always gets to top 4. I don't think we can stop him from getting to top 4 anymore. But Killing Time, going to be the next combatant. Oh, bit of a camera error there, unfortunately guys. But we'll quickly go to the bracket shotgun. Let's talk about the bracket very quickly while I do some readjustments.
Well, I actually closed it. I am an idiot and I closed the bracket, so give me 1 sec. And there we go. So yeah, we see that Alva managed to win against Ranma. Strudel and Aitalama, we don't know yet. Imperia won against Teddy. Poor Teddy. He was so wanting this, but apparently Imperia wanted it more. And then indeed, Killing Time, taking out King Dance. And I'm going to about to go cast another Killing Time game, which I'm very excited for.
The KT hype is real. And we do have some bounties claimed. Who's taken the bounties so far?
Well, so far it's Killing Time who took one of the bounties, and it was, let's see, Plorn who took the other one.
You know, the thing is, if Killing Time wins this tournament, we're not going to hear the end of it, guys. You do realize that.
Indeed, the Discord chat is going to constantly be like, Killing Time just going in for, hey, I won the last tournament, did you know? Hey, I won the last tournament.
Yeah.
KT Hype, I won the last tournament.
Yeah, I mean, he actually, to be fair, he did win the Metagaming TV Showdown. And to be fair, he was pretty humble about that. You know, he didn't really brag. He had a bit of a a bit of meme.
Honest, we're messing around with KT, but he's actually a really nice guy,
Yes,
and
he
indeed,
is.
He's not gloaty at all.
No, he's humble in winning, salty in defeat, and that's completely fine because I think we're all like that sometimes.
Indeed.
So yeah, let's get into this match, guys. I'm just gonna make sure everything is ready. Still waiting on you, dude. Are you getting some issues, getting invites?
Yeah, I'm not getting any invites.
Just sent you over another.
Let me restart my game, perhaps that's an issue.
So as far as matchups go here, Imperia is obviously one of the most experienced and consistent competitive Faeria players we've ever had. He constantly gets top 4. His teammates are winning cups left, right, and center. Mayhem taken 2 recently. Arianel taken 2 recently. Over the last 6 months, Faeria Tail, which is Imperia's team, have been basically on fire. Like, you just can't stop them. They're just winning
You can
tournaments.
reinvite, by the way.
And I feel that they're probably the strongest Faeria team right now as far as single performances go. So they must have a very strong practice regime within their team, as they're all very great performers. But that is going to be... His opponent's going to be KT. You know, KT's the wild card. You know, he's got that yellow rush. You know, he's beaten Mill today. He's pretty much won the tournament from beating Mill. So he's ready to take all the dollars in this next match. But I'm going to send you over with Cappuccino to cast this game. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much. And yeah, join with me is Shotgun, you know, the guy on the desk.
Hi, yeah, I quickly ran over to the casting points, so made it in time. But I'm here, and I'm excited, aren't you?
Well done, yes. This is actually going to be interesting because I don't know what Imperia's playing yet, so it's going to be really interesting to know if he has watched what KT was playing and how he develops his lands based off that. You know, typically a lot of decks start in front of their orb, but when you're up against Rush, you always start to the side because it's just better to not make the land for your opponent to step on, usually, unless you're red combat and you can just walk up his lands and just start going face. That's like one of the exceptions. So I'm going to be interested to see if Imperia chooses to build in front or just goes to the side with the knowledge.
Indeed. Well, we're about to see as the players are selecting their decks. They are taking their sweet time, though. Gotta say, even though isn't the first deck always the same?
Yeah, with Pantheon, you lock in 3 decks. You lock in your first primary deck, which you play in every set, and then you have your 2 other decks that you can switch for train, and it's best of 5.
Well, there you go, and here we go. KT versus Imperia, and I just noticed KT is actually sporting the Vanguard Yak. One of the rare yaks.
Not as cool as the security guard yak, but pretty cool.
Yeah, indeed. But I'm only one of the few that has all the yaks.
He does have the dragon avatar, or the dragon orb that looks really cool, though.
Yeah, indeed. Also got that one.
And
I got the purple diamond back.
It looks like maybe a Yellow Rush mirror, unless the double shaking demon is just a tempo deck. Flashwind has me thinking it could just be yellow tempo. Though with this matchup, maybe you rush with yellow tempo regardless.
Yeah, it does look like a more yellow tempo, and this hand is very tempo-y. And it does seem that he is going to go aggressive with his lands to counter the aggression of KT. I mean, he does have the 2 Shaitan Demons, which can kill almost anything that KT puts down at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. And, just to explain, what are the differences between tempo and rush, or those different iterations, it's with tempo decks, you're likely to see a lot more events with Kalim's training, with Flashwind. You'll likely see Charger, and we won't see Prayer, I imagine.
Yeah, but generally also with tempo, you generally still go for the Faeria wells, while Rush just wants to hit the face. It just wants to go all in on that face, hit it as many times as possible, grow those Crusaders.
Yeah, and we have knowledge that KT isn't running Aerials, so Imperia could actually play this pretty slow. He could just double land to the well, drop the Outland Ranger, and then he's set up to be collecting. The opponent can't even hit face, has to make a desert twice in a row, so double land Outland just looks so strong.
Indeed, this is a very good start for Imperia right now, especially with that Outland Ranger draw, because now he can develop a creature, can start harvesting Faeria. He doesn't even need to preemptively campfire the Outland Ranger, because KT only has 0 deserts, and it seems that he's just going for Prairie Heaven.
With that double end now, wow, okay, so it is a Yellow Rush mirror, just to be corrected there. But it's weird, those Outland Ranger, maybe it's just tempo with one prayer.
Yeah, it could be tempo with maybe 1 or 2 prayers, and basically because tempo still wants to hit the face eventually, and prayer is great with that.
I am surprised though, Imperia could have just stepped onto the enemy prairie, made a desert drop demon, and then next turn Flashwind it to hit face and activate the prayer. Instead, it opts to double land, and that's going to set him back a turn, whereas he could have been hitting face already.
Indeed, but now he is going to Flashwind this demon out of the way to play the other demon, and this puts KT on a 2-turn clock.
Yeah, 2-turn clock for sure. Though KT with Daring Adventure now is going to be able to, if he wants, develop 2 6/6s for 4 cost.
Yeah, but the only issue is that, to be honest, even if he develops those 2 6/6s, those Shaitan Demons are still going to deal 10 damage next turn, which is a lot of damage. And after he can only deal with one of the Shaitans, so that's another 5 damage. And, well, with the tempo and the Kalim Sprayer, perhaps he can even get a Last Nightmare to deal with that one of those Daring Adventurers.
It still looks so good, and he has the Drain, so it looks like that's what he's going to go for. Follower hit face prayer to start, because you want to get that value going. And then it looks like it's just going to be double Daring and Choke.
Ooh, Monk. Great pickup. So yeah, he's doing exactly what you said, including playing the Monk. And, gets a Last Nightmare, which is actually really good for him.
Yeah, and this is so powerful for killing time, because what's going to happen is Imperia is going to take 4 damage. So even though he gets to 10 him, he's going to not be able to hit with any other creatures. There's not much he can develop, because you don't want to just summon a haste unit for no reason. And then KT's going to clear off the creatures and be threatening lethal on the following turn.
I actually forgot that he actually had the... I somehow didn't even look at the Faeria amount. And he actually had the Faeria to play both Daring Adventurers that turn. Salt Raid can help. It can release some of the pressure. And it looks like... No, he has to go face. But I would say that he's just going to double Soul Drain here.
Now, do you Soul Drain the follower? Soul Drain on the monk seems relatively obvious, but the follower, it's not that great a value.
Well, it's not that great a value, but don't forget that Imperia needs to relieve some of that pressure. And he has a lot of Faeria in the bank, so any other card that he basically draws can give him so much value. He can play it instantly. Maybe he can draw 2 cards and probably play both of them. And if they're big creatures, then that puts the pressure back to... then Imperia gains the pressure suddenly.
Yeah, nice line there by KT, making the desert to get the trade. Can drop Demon aggressively now. Excuse me, now, and just block with the Imperial Drain.
Yeah, he has to play it aggressively and decides not to play the Drain. And Imperia getting the Soul Drain, not really what he wants. And the Charger is actually pretty good because he can play it out of the way of any creature that can kill it instantly. Sadly for him, though, KT does have the Last Nightmare. So, do you think he would actually just Last Nightmare this Windstorm Charger?
I think you're forced to, because it's so easy for a Charger to represent 8 damage. It's triple event, but, you know, he could find Monk, hit face, prayer, draw into like an Outland Ranger, Campfire, boom, that's lethal. A lot of different ways.
Exactly, and that's exactly what he's going to do now. Imperia getting the Outland Ranger, which is also a very good pickup. And a Wind Soldier. Is it lethal? No, that's 9 damage total.
Well, it's going to be close, because with KT taking 2 damage, he's going to be down to 5. And then if you Wind Soldier Campfire, you'll take him down to 1, and he'll die in the following turn. So KT has to win right away.
Ooh, decides to just... Wait, did he... Oh yeah, no, it's KT... I'm sorry, I'm still having an after-dinner dip. I'm making mistakes. That is... that demon is KT's demon, not Imperius. I somehow switched the 2 around.
I think that's game.
Like, yeah.
Killing Time doesn't have any way... Unless you Monk hit face into prayer? No, that's not even enough.
Well, no. Does he? No, he's 1 very short. But he can still kill that. Yeah, that is indeed game. KT doesn't know it yet, but indeed, Imperia has the Wind Soldier for the win. Together with that Shaitan Demon that's on the field that just hurts your own orb.
Yeah, and this is one of the downsides of the demon. Although you're hitting for 5, you're taking 2 in retaliation, so
indeed
you're only doing 3 damage more. Plus you have the tempo loss of sometimes your opponent just puts you to 2 and then you die. And that is what's going to happen on Imperia's next turn.
Indeed, so game 1 going to Imperia. But to be honest, it was really, really close. It could have gone either way, and great plays by both.
Yeah, this is a matchup that I think is normally favored for the tempo player, just because you have a lot more creatures you can either start collecting with or block with. And as you saw, the Charger had to get Last Nightmare because it was representing the lethal damage range.
Indeed. So, now, go ahead.
This is going to be tough for KT because, you know, Alvar was happy, I think, running green into the yellow deck, but he was running Horsemaster. He ran Time just to guarantee he can get Runin at least twice as fast. I don't know if KT was running Horsemasters. I think it was exclusively Grove Crawler, and I don't know if that's going to be fast enough to hunt down Chargers. It could be the case that you don't want to run green, and maybe we'll see a blue deck instead.
Well, we're about to find out as we are going into game number 2. And he is indeed chose just to go for blue.
Now, I mean, this is my personal experience, but this seems really one-sided for the yellow to win this. KT is going to have a very hard time winning this matchup, I think.
Well, I think it also depends a lot on the early game, about who can get that early board control, because once blue has that board control, it is really hard for yellow to get it back, even though it has the cards to do it, but the longer the game goes on, the better it is for KT because of those Gabriel Archons, which are so much value, and because of the Colossi.
Yeah, so KT is probably going to want to develop the Battletoads, even though it's weak to a Soul Drain. You want to have the option of being able to, 1, force your opponent to Campfire or have the Soul Drain, and then 2, by having 2 tokens, you can also threaten Phantasm lines as well.
Indeed, and to be honest, Battletoads isn't even that weak to Soul Drain. Like, yeah, it's basically 1-for-1, but you still keep another Toad on the field, so it isn't even the end of the world. Imperia getting another Outland Ranger, but I would say that he's going for the Windstorm Charger. You just want that developed.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit awkward. KT goes to 5 Faeria, so he's actually 1 shy of being able to do a Phantasm line. And Mythmaker he can't use because he would need the 3rd lake in the first place. And you can't afford to drop Sunken Tower and Mythmaker because you don't have the land. So the only possible line KT can have here that's good is, you know, the command trade with the Toad, and that's not even that great.
Yeah, now Imperia, he used the Campfire on the Outland Ranger to counter the Toad killing it, and the Toad can still kill it together with the Emperor's Command, but that's just much worse. So he decides to just stay defensive, go to the other side, and this is the thing about blue. It can contest both sides so easily because of the jump. And the Triton Warrior is actually a really big problem for yellow to handle, I've noticed, because you can't choking it, and it can kill a Windstorm Charger on its own turn.
Yeah, it looks like Imperia recognizes that choking Sands, the only real target you can usually find in this matchup, is a Toad. So he's just going to get it on the board because it'll set up the tempo initiative for him. You know, KT now has to move within trade range unless he were to find something like a Sunken Tower. Sunken Tower would have opted to set up a really nice trade, however.
Now, KT, think about it. That Toad was, by the way, a lot of value because he had to choke it. And he still has Triton Warrior. He can actually decide to just go aggressive with that Triton Warrior and just use Emperor's Command preemptively on the Windstorm Charger. So it would still need 2 events to kill this Triton Warrior.
Yeah, that would work, but I think what I would look for from KT is just to actually lake and just battle Toads. Like, collect with the Warrior, collect with the Toad, summon the Battletoads, and then just react next turn to what your opponent's done, because you have the Phantasm, you have the
Well,
command.
yeah, no, he's most definitely going to play the Battletoads, but... Or he's actually playing the Mirror Phantasm, I think, yep. He's just going to mirror one of the Toads.
Now, this is going to open up Imperia to double land and just trade into both. He can Campfire the 4-3 to become a 5-4 to trade, and then that will make Charger 4 power to get the trade on the left side. Now, I don't think Imperia is going to go for the double trade because the Phantasm is going to be collecting anyway. It's more likely that it just backs up and Campfires the Charger.
Yeah, no, this is just going to be indeed a Campfire play, killing that Triton Warrior. It's just a fight for board control right now. Imperia's Windstorm Colossus is a 6 Faeria, and killing times Colossi are still at the max cost, aren't they?
Yeah, but KT is starting to gain a little bit of initiative thanks to that command to kill off the Charger. He has a stronger board currently, and if he can find Library and protect it, that's going to be how he regains value in this matchup.
Yeah, we also got to remember that he just needs one more 7-cost creature to play it, and those Gaming Archons are going to be so much value. And Imperia, well, he's actually is kind of in a pickle, especially because of this Gabriel Commander that can pressure both one of these Outland Rangers now. So he's just opting to play the Windstorm Colossus and pray that KT doesn't have a Frogify. And the 6 Faeria 7/7-3 is still really good, but it's not a 5 Faeria 7/7.
Yeah, this is really hard because wherever you summon the Charger currently, it's contested by the Gabriel Commander. So if that flips to become a 5/3 body, it is a fantastic trade into the Charger. And I don't see a way for Imperia to play around that. If he had, instead of making the double land, made a desert, he could have played it underneath the Outland Ranger, summoned it there, and then stepped up with the Outland Ranger. That way, if Frogify happens on the Colossus, you can then retrade with the 3/2, or you force Commander to trade.
Well, would he even have enough Faeria then? Because he still needed that one extra Faeria for the Windstorm Charger.
Yeah, it would have meant collecting on the right side with the 4/3 instead of making the Prairie.
Which would basically be killed off by the Mirror Phantasm in that case.
Yeah, but it's worth pointing out, Imperia hasn't played any Wind Soldiers, and he also hasn't played Soul Drains yet. So he will be drawing into 6 answers that are only 2 Faeria efficiency to do it. And by double landing, you're effectively costing yourself 1 anyway. So I think it still would have been a strong line. But either way, he's going to bank. And is this Mythmaker to value trade?
Indeed it is. And, well, there's the first Soul Drain. I can kill the Aurora Mythmaker, although... Do you really care about that Mythmaker right now? Not really.
Oh, and Prayer picked up. So Prayer is an interesting card to run in this deck. When you're running triple training, triple Flashwind, it's actually pretty easily to hit face. But I don't know if we've seen Imperia run any copies of training so far. We've seen Flashwinds, multiple of them, but...
Well, no, we have seen him play Prayer in the last game.
Yeah, but do we see any training? Because it's going to be hard for him to hit face in this matchup.
No, I actually haven't. So that's indeed interesting, if he even has his training. Because he needs room for those prayers, doesn't he?
Oh, this is so difficult for Imperia now because you so badly want to get your Charger developed every one of these turns, and you just can't because the Commander's threatening it. Now, the Commander isn't flipped, so he could just gamble now and summon it in front of his orb, but, you know, it's not a gamble you often want to take because you have to fear, you know, what if there's triple Phantasm, what if there's triple Colossus? That's at least 6 7-cost cards right there.
Yeah, now... excuse me, need a little bit of a drink, but anyways, KT draws the Forbidden Library. He can actually kill off the Colossus and put down the library safely. It would still be in range. Well, actually, if he plays it on where Aurora is right now, it would actually be safe from a Wind Soldier, wouldn't it? No. He could still double land. Never mind. However, if he has to Wind Soldier a Forbidden Library, that's still 2 Faeria gain.
Yeah, even though it doesn't look good, it was still probably your best line. Just the Water Alley +1 library and just make that trade.
Oh.
Because now you don't have to worry about Wind Soldiers at all.
Indeed. And Last Nightmare is picked up. Can kill that Mirror Phantasm, but those Colossi are also coming still. Although I don't believe they have been reduced yet, still. They will be eventually coming. And Imperia finally can play the Charger in the safe spot. Basically, he just flooding the board.
Yeah, and this is where KT's really going to be hoping for a Frogify, because if he can find Frogify to trade into that Kaleem, it's going to set himself up to be super advantaged.
Indeed. Now, I guess the Windstorm Colossus, which is still nade cost, which is quite rare in these matches.
If he draws, he actually can't play Battletoads. It would force him into Archon or Water Alley as his only line. But he could Water Alley make the trade on the Demon. It's not a trade you really mind.
Might actually opt for just +1 Faeria Windstorm, maybe. It might sound a little bit stupid, but It would empower that Gabriel Archon a turn earlier.
Yeah, one of the risks is that Kaleem's not dying, so Kaleem has the possibility of getting Flashman to hit face, Charger then kills the Water Ellie, and the Demon's already threatening good trades on the right side, so I think it's one of those cases where KT probably needs to draw for Frogify, but it looks like you're right, he's going to go for a more consistent line.
Indeed. And that's the Flashwind you were talking about.
So at minimum, he can go to 6 Faeria just by collecting with the Charger. He could still afford to Last Nightmare the 5/5. He could Flashwind the Demon to kill the Structure.
He could actually potentially use the Flashwind on the Demon to kill the Library.
I think I'd rather just collect with Kaleem, even though it doesn't look that great for now. Kill the 3/3, Last Nightmare the 5/5, and Flashman the Demon to kill the Structure.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's exactly what he's going to do. Because you need to kill the Library ASAP.
Yeah, and he goes for the aggressive land, which I think I was favoring as well. It looked really strong. Now, you can also Soul Drain the 1/1 if you want to respect, say, something like a Phantasm, but your opponent's going into 3 Faeria, 4 Faeria if he collects. I guess you don't have to worry about it this turn, so just hold off.
Yeah, the opponent can go to 6 Faeria at max. So that is 1 Faeria short from the Mirror Phantasm, which he does get. And another Library, but this time there are no safe spaces for it. Well, I mean, he could just trade with the Archon and still play the Library.
Yeah, still a great pickup.
It would still be very vulnerable. It would still be very vulnerable to a Flashwind, unless indeed he plays it behind the Toads. Look at that army of frogs and a turtle protecting the Library.
Imperia in a little bit of a difficult spot now because if he maneuvers within range. Oh, there's the training. Okay, so he does run it. He can't reach the Library though, but yeah, he has to be scared of Phantasm, so he can't collect with the Charger unless he is just okay with the Charger getting Phantasm traded into.
Yeah, he just go to clear two of these Toads.
Okay, and by doing it this way, the only way the Phantasm can come down is if you target the Toad next to the Outland Ranger, which is not a very strong line, regardless.
Now, he can actually play the Mirror Phantasm this turn, but it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it looks like he actually had an okay line of just collect, trade with the Toad, double land between the walls on the right side, drop another Library down.
Well, he is still going for the double Library play, and then surrenders. So Imperia taking game number 2. And this is looking bad for Katie, because indeed his last thing is a green deck, isn't it?
I believe so, yes. Yes, it was a green deck. And it's kind of rough to play that matchup as the blue deck, because unless you have triple Ninja Toad, it's very hard to get the discount on your Wave Crash, because they set up a Charger, and then you don't ever want to jump your creature within range of the Charger, because then the Charger gets the value trade with Campfire, and we just got to see that end up happening. But now KT, with Deepwood Stalkers, is going to be able to punish Fanatics. Maybe if he gets 2 Stalkers, he can punish Chargers. This is where green can potentially get a lot of value.
Indeed, but Stalkers can't deal with any Chargers right now, or not with the hand that he has, so that Charger is going to get online. And the Chitin Demon is actually really good against green.
Yeah, this is a great start for Imperia. Well, I mean, other than the Colossus Emperor, you'd probably rather that be 2 other cards, but having 2 early creatures is good on its own, just because you can guarantee, hey, if he goes the same side as me, I just double land to the right, collect with the charger, drop the demon on the left. Demon's a 3 Faeria, 5 damage potential creature. Like, it's great for fighting. And that's probably what we'll see, is just double land to the right and drop the demon.
Oh, apparently, apparently, KT conceded. Because his game crashed.
In the previous game when he had developed both libraries. Yeah, I'm hearing that now as well, but to be honest, it was still pretty bleak for him.
It was still very bleak. I didn't really see him coming back from that easily. It was still possible, but let's be honest, Imperia was way ahead.
Yeah, and Imperia just gonna scoot back. If he had found training, I guess that's still not enough. But if he had found a couple events, he would have been able to clear off the Verduran. For now, just using Demon and Wind Soldier is also pretty insane value, so that's what he'll go for.
KT wants to probably be a little bit more defensive with his Verduran, because just one Soul Drain is enough to kill it off. Or even a Wind Soldier, but Soul Drain would be worse for him, so he's going to move it back. Just biding his time.
Yeah, and this is really important. So, you never want to make the connecting land for the yellow player, because then they get to draw another time. So KT is saying, alright, I'm going to force you to double land, miss out on a card draw, and that way if you want to get value with your demon, you have to step up, and then I get to make the trade on my own terms.
Indeed, and another thing about green is that green has Grove Caller, so it can stay defensive and suddenly go on the offense if it likes.
Imperia doesn't choose to play around the Deepwood Stalker, so Deepwood Stalker didn't get really good value against that Outland Ranger, and KT with the favorable trade. He's able to force on the left side of his orb, right side for us viewing the game, and develop the Deepwood Stalker, and then you potentially start collecting on the right side. I think I would go for building the forest there, but he's going to play it in front of Orb instead and develop the Grove Guardian.
Ooh, I like this. Now, the Wind Soldier can still kill off that Verduran force, but that still leaves the Grove Guardian in the way. And Imperia only has the Campfire to buff the Windstorm Charger with.
Yeah, Imperia making another land in order to get these trades that he wants. So the line he can do is just drop the demon, campfire it, and then flashman the demon to the left one, and then you can trade into the Grove Guardian. But no, he's just going to try an all-in face. If you campfire, hit face, and prayer, you can afford to play the Colossus instead of the demon.
Indeed.
So that's going to be a 7/7 body.
Yeah, and then he gets another Colossus, which is actually really good for him now that he has gone all in aggression.
Yeah, thankfully for KT, he has the Grove Collar, so he's able to teleport back, get the very good value trade on the 3/5, and then taunt up the 7/7. So this still looks moderately good for KT. Has the option to feed on the Grove Collar if he wants to, but it'll take him up to 4 Faeria. Probably not a line you go for.
Indeed, no. UK, that Grove Collar is now in a good position. It can start double collecting next turn. Faeria does get the Soul Drain though, which is a really good pickup for him. Can kill 2 creatures.
Well, Grove Collar, equally decent pickup here.
Yep. He can still get rid of that one Windstorm Colossus, but next turn, the 5-cost Colossus comes down. Does 5-cost win?
I don't think you can afford to use the feed, because if you use the feed, you're not going to get a better 4-drop just to be double collecting.
Yeah, indeed. And he's not going to use the feed here. Very wise. There comes the other Colossus, and, well, very good that he plays the plays those makes those double prairies, because now KT can't put a Faerian Golem in its way. However, he could potentially just play the Faerian Golem, feed it, play another Faerian Golem, and perhaps have another heal or buff the Faerian Golem, do anything.
Yeah, I think I would rather Tharian feed and then play whatever I find, whether it's just another Tharian or not.
Yeah.
But it looks like KT's favoring the double Tharian line.
No, he is actually
Oh,
feeding.
okay, he is doing it.
And gets another Runic Guidance and another feed.
Okay, the opponent can't afford Last Nightmare, so you're pretty safe to preemptively buff. The only punish is like an Outland Ranger Campfire, but that's not even so much a punish. KT able to just kill off the 2/4 Collector that's double collecting. I would have honestly just looked at that because it's very hard for green to reposition after playing 2 Grove Colors already.
Yeah, right now I would have indeed gone for more board control. I mean, you can get the double collection off after that. Well, not at that moment, but still, you got the Demon, you got the Outland Ranger, and Green has a really hard time coming back into the game without those feeds. And this is his third feed, so after this, there's no more free Faeria generation.
And that is a great pickup for KT.
Yeah.
He probably feels like he doesn't need to heal now. He can just go for the Embrace, get the value trade on the 8/8, and then just pass the turn. The opponent did use the Campfire. Alright, so chooses to play it safely, goes for the heal.
Yeah,
one of the lines you could be scared of is like Wind Soldier training Flashwind. It's a bit out there, but it would have been a line.
Couldn't he still move the Faerian Golem to the left to get to the Faeria collection spot next turn?
I think he was worried about blocking a haste unit.
Yeah, but you're on 10 life and you have a Wood Elemental next to you. And the opponent was only on 5 Faeria, so there wasn't that much that he could do.
Yeah, that's very true.
But well, he gets the Fedoran Force, and suddenly it's looking really good for killing time.
Yeah, not even Flashwind is going to allow him to hit face.
Yeah, he has to retreat with his Kaleem.
You don't even really want to drop Demon or Colossus. You sort of just want to wait and try and find a way to sneak lethal.
And the Emperor's Command, so even more healing now. Yeah, no, this orb ain't dying anytime soon.
Yeah, KT can just drop that Grove Guardian in front of his orb and just pass and just wait because he's out collecting the opponent. There's no fear. And this is command in green, so KT as well as Alvar must have been practicing a lot with green, and KT, instead of going for Horse Masters, said, okay, I'll beat blue by using command to destroy their library, and that's how I get my advantage. And I mean, it looks like it's going to work out. It looks like they're opting not to play yellow and instead going for just the green, blue, and red deck, I'm pretty sure.
Indeed. Now that Kaleem is actually probably going to die next turn because of the Emperor's Command and Elderwood Embrace. Oh no, wait. No, the Imperia, very smart, playing the Wind Soldier with the training, killing off that Wood Elemental. It's a lot for to kill off one Wood Elemental, but that Wood Elemental is making would be killing the Sky Prodigy probably with 2 buffs. So yeah, I like it.
Just a correction on what I just said. So not the blue list. So they're running yellow, green, and red, I'm pretty sure. And by cutting blue, you open up your commands because you don't need the command for your libraries anymore. Instead, you just don't run that, and then you focus purely on yellow rush, green midrange, and then you have the red combat to counter any yellow, any blue, and potentially do okay against mixed decks.
Indeed. And he's just going to chill. He has a lot of beefy creatures on board, and Imperia, well, he has that Windstorm in the hand, but there's no proper spot to play it. does get another training, but so he can potentially kill off this Faerian Golem. But
Yeah,
what else does it do?
This looks like Imperia might try and all in by playing training on the Charger, killing the 9/5, and then dashing a Colossus with charge 3 all the way to the top left well. And that might be your one way of getting into the aggression.
Actually, he's going to decide to just kill the Fedoran Force that's been double collecting this whole time. And kill the Wood Elemental to boot. This is actually really good, because now he can actually play the Windstorm Colossus. He can potentially... he does exactly that. And, well, one thing, KT can kill both of these.
Yeah, KT can answer this just on board. I feel like it was a better chance if you left the Verduran outside of range of your Colossus and just dashed the Colossus up and killed the 9/5. But Imperia, who very consistently does really well in these tournaments, must have felt this was his best line.
Yeah, and the Embrace just on the Grove Guardian. Ugh. And KT still has the board control, and Imperia, he's starting to run out of steam.
Aridin picked up.
Ooh.
So we saw this earlier in KT's match up against the Yellow Rush, where he had the Aridin. Was stuck in his hand, but...
Yep, but this time he can actually play it and make sure that Imperia can't collect.
I think he still has one Stalker to find in his deck, so if it does die, it'll be a 3/5 Stalker that he can draw into, and then Command plus Stalker kills Charger.
He has the Prayer and the Flash Wind, but because of this Aerodon, he can't even hit the face.
Well, if you make a land, charge into middle, and then Flash Wind face, indeed. You can hit for 4.
But do you really want to do that?
I don't know if Imperia can even find lethal.
Oh, he got... Well, he did get the Wind Soldier, so can kill off that Aerodon.
I think you have to Wind Soldier face in prayer. It sounds weird, but I'm pretty sure you have to do that, and then hope to find like training Flash Wind Soldier into lethal.
Well, he's just going to retreat with his Charger, so he's just going to bide his time. And probably try to do a power move next turn. Now, will KT figure it out? And he does play another Grove Caller. Got very aggressively, and do you think this is a good spot right now for the Grove Guardian?
I think you still go for that. It's just whether or not you guidance your 7/3 to be a 9/5, or you heal with the Command, because I'm pretty sure you had to go for one or the other. And
ooh, another Flash Wind picked up.
This is so close to lethal. It's not quite. He can get up to
Quite indeed.
He can just Wind Soldier the 7/3, Flash Wind up, and hit face, but that's only 6 damage, and then you can activate Prayer. He needs to draw into Soul Drain. Choking is not enough.
Yep.
I mean, now you can at least Wind Soldier to kill the 7/3. You'd have to do that, right? Then you hit face, activate Prayer, and then Flash Wind your Charger to the left one. Because then you're out of reach of the opponent, and you have a Charger on that prairie. Yeah, you can play Wind Soldier from the bottom left, double collect, kill 7/3. You may as well scoot up then Flash Wind so that you get the extra event synergy. You hit face for 6.
He can actually also collect with that Wind Soldier.
Yeah, he just missed one Faeria. That's weird, because he looked at it, but then didn't go for it. If he finds Soul Drain...
There's the out-end range that he wanted.
Okay.
And he's just going to put up the pressure and hope that KT doesn't have the answers. Well,
Yeah, this-
he can feed for more.
There's the
Oh,
Stalker.
there's the Stalker. So
Okay,
yeah,
so he-
Stalker with commands can kill off this Windstorm Charger. He can then kill off the Demon using the Faerian Golem. He can still create a land and kill off the Outland Ranger using his Guardian.
Yeah, one thing to note is that you should use the command first so you don't take 2 damage on your Stalker.
Yep.
You realize that quick. And this is going to be KT pretty much clearing off the board. In fact, yeah, he has full clear able to be done, and he can heal with guidance on top of that. So more than enough options for KT. There's very little way that Imperia is going to be able to get back into this game.
Yeah, this is looking very rough. He was very, very close, but just not close enough. Just going to kill off everything, deal 5 to the face.
Now,
And
that was actually a little bit greedy with his positions because a Colossus can now be dashed. I think I would have preferred the Grove Guardian actually just killed the Outland Ranger and you kept your 9-2 alive. Because by letting your 9-2 die, you can actually die to a Colossus now.
yeah, and well, there's Runin. And it's
Not
already a
exact-
5-5 Runin.
Yeah, not exactly the time where you want to find Rune, you want to find it earlier, but it's going to work out good enough.
He's just going to play very defensive with the rest of his creatures. Yeah, he's going to take 3 to the face, but what else is Faeria going to do? Last Nightmare, but that's only going to delay it.
Yeah, collecting doesn't do anything, hitting face doesn't do anything. Imperia won't be able to close out this game.
However, both players are on 2 cards, by the way. So this is probably still going into fatigue. And he decides to just collect, and, well, this is going to be a fatigue battle. And right now, KT is winning.
Yeah, he can Soldier and heal up to 12, but he was
And
going to
that's
die
it.
over the next 2 turns.
So yeah, game number 3 going to KT, and, well, do you think Imperia will just bring out the blue deck against the screen?
Well, it's Imperia's last deck, so whatever it is, wait, it is Imperia's last deck, right?
No. He still has 2 more decks.
Oh, right, yes. Okay, so it's blue-green, 3 wishes or enchantment, double fairy
it's
opening
blue-green.
with sturdy shell. Oh, this is the hand you're looking for.
Yeah, this is a beauty hand. Turn 1 sturdy shell, always good. Then on turn 3, playing 2 flower silk fairies, and, well, one good thing for KT, he does have the spider, so if he doesn't play the spider on turn 2, just saves it, just in case for those fairies.
Alright, so KT's gonna go up
But
the
he
same
is going
side
to
as
play
the
the
shell.
spider. It's a 3 wishes.
Now, KT's actually gonna have a really hard time dealing with fairies now that he's played the Stalker. It wasn't bad to necessarily Stalker the shell, but he is in a lot of trouble now if he doesn't find command to eventually deal with these fairies or Voice of Truth to reset them.
Indeed, or another spider.
But it makes sense, you gotta keep pushing up one side. You can't switch and go to both against a blue-green enchant deck.
Indeed, and, well, he doesn't know it, but it's more than just a blue-green enchant deck.
I wonder if he'll Earthcraft a mountain. I mean, this is going to really tell what cards he's favoring and if he has Garridan in the list. Because if you Earthcraft a mountain, it's because you have Garridan. Otherwise, you can just make whatever you draw.
Well, he got another Earthcraft. Decides to just create a lake, and now let's see what he creates. Yep, he creates the mountain.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit punished because you'd rather develop the shell between the walls. So I think you would have preferred to start with building a mountain and then put it above your lake and then build the lake last on the left side.
Well, KT now knows that he's up against the 3 wishes, so if he wasn't going aggro before, now he's definitely going aggro. And ooh, Voice of Truth, great pickup to deal with one of those fairies.
Yeah, that's a really solid pickup. So Grove Guardian can walk down, the 2/4 can start walking back towards his orb, and just develop the voice now and reset the fairy to a 1/1.
Yeah, however, the fairy still gets to keep his taunt and his charge too. So it's not the end of the world, but...
Yeah, very likely it just takes over as being the double collector. The other one would probably just screw it up.
Yep. He's going to wait with it though. And he gets the Gabriel Enchantress. So this fairy is probably going to kill the scooter.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get punished for not using the voice that turn. And with the double Earthcraft early, he is so close to casting 3 wishes, already threatening it next turn.
Next turn. 3 wishes is coming, and well, you said green-blue enchant. It might, and with the 3 wishes, it might still be a green-blue enchant because of all the enchantments that KT has. Picks up Aerodon, not that great right now here. However, he can play a very aggressive Pyrian Golem, and now he decides to Voice of Truth. 5/3 into a 1/1.
Yeah, not quite the value you want, but, Imperia gonna cast the 3 wishes, and it's so likely to get amazing cards from green, even if you, like, quote-unquote, by getting a Feed the Forest, like, that's still really good because you're playing Willows anyway.
Well, he got the Sagami Gravecaller, which is really nice, and he got a Guidance and a Wood Elemental, so he doesn't even need to create that forest for the Sagami Gravecaller.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at how he can do this. If he's running a ton of enchantments, I think you just Wood Ellie beside your Willow, get the aggressive top left forest spot, and just summon the Willow.
Well, he decides to just buff the fairy, and that fairy had a lot of different stats this game. Started out as a 1/1, became a 2/5, then became a what was it? 4/7?
5/5 afterwards.
5/5.
And then
Yeah, 5/5, and then became 1/1 again. Now it's a 3/3. Well, 3/2 after attack. And ooh, the thing is,
a really nice pickup.
Yeah, well, to be honest, Imperia knew that the other Runanin's Guidance would be coming, so
This is kind of tough, but I wonder if, as KT, if you just drop Aerodon in front of your orb, you want it to start ticking on that Willow to make sure enchantment's not like a scary card later on. And you know he doesn't have enchantment in hand because the only card he has in hand is a card he wished off you. The other option is to just draw and hope to find like feeds and stuff, but I don't know. I don't think Aerodon gets any better than now.
yeah, now it would be indeed the time to just play just +1 Faeria, play Aerodon. He actually decides to just go for the card draw and gets the Sagami Gravecaller, which we knew was coming. So yeah, Voice of Truth and Graveyard Enchantment. Well, the Aerodon wouldn't have done anything. It would have come just a little bit too late.
Can you just 12 him, I think. Teleport your Wood Ellie, embrace it, and hit with both creatures? That looks very strong.
Yep, that's exactly what he's going to do.
The other line is to voice the Grove Guardian to be a 5/6 again, but yeah, I think I'd rather go for face.
Yeah, no, he's just going to race. And he already knows what the next draw is. Which is a wood elemental. And a wood elemental might actually not be enough here.
Well, he can taunt and actually 9 the opponent, and if he finds a buff, he has lethal. The line I see is you just make a forest on the left side of your orb, play the Wood Ellie, Tharian Golem kills the Sturdy Shell, Guidance the Grove Guardian to hit face for 9, and then you're threatening lethal with any buff on the following turn.
Yeah, but the only thing Imperia really needs is another enchantment. Or an enchantress.
Yep. But I don't see a way of playing around that regardless.
Yeah.
Well, okay, no, he could play around it a little bit.
He could create a he can create a forest and Sagami Grove Caller the Grove Guardian onto it and move.
Yeah, that's actually probably the line. Is you just forest beside your orb, play Grove Guardian.
And then also Runan's Guidance hit.
Wait, in order to do the line, he has to make the forest first, then Grove Guardian to teleport there, kill the 7/7, and then play the Wood Ellie to taunt the 5/6. In the order he's done it, he's still dead to enchantment.
He's still dead to the enchantments. Oh, no, he can heal. So he's not dead to enchantment just yet.
I think this was worse than just putting the Wood Ellie in front of your orb, which you could have done instead, but...
Another 3 wishes. What does he get? Well, the Wood Elemental, a Deep Wood Stalker, and a 2-cost Runin. And the Deep Wood Stalker is actually really good here.
Yeah, that is a fantastic pickup. And KT's gonna toss it.
Yep. He's just going to surrender. And Imperia going through.
3-0 or 3-1 for Imperia, only losing to what was it, the green deck? He only lost the green deck once.
Yeah, he only lost to the green deck once. So yeah, Imperia looking very strong, going to the finals yet again. And well, I would say let's go back to Aqua Blood and Desk Shotgun. Take it away.
All right, guys, that was a pretty grueling match for KT. The yellow events, like we were talking about this earlier, I said, where's yellow events at the moment? We don't see it anywhere. And then Imperia storms onto the tournament scene this month, wrecks with yellow events, and now he's in the finals. So yellow events still a very strong deck, even with the Kaleem nerf, and taking Imperia all the way to the grand finals. Do you feel that was an early concede from KT there?
To be honest, it was looking very bad for him. There might have been a way for him to come back, but to be honest, it would have been very hard for him. And perhaps he's also tired. He was like, yeah, let me just give it to Imperia. He deserves it. Yeah, might have been a little bit premature, but it was going to be very hard still.
So Imperia is going to be our first finalist, with KT going for the 3rd place match, where he will play against the loser from the other semi-finals. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back with some more reveals. Stay tuned.
Discover the Adventure Pouch Oversky, featuring a first-of-its-kind co-op campaign. Team up with either friends or powerful Faeria characters and discover a ton of new content, including more than 30 new cards. Join now to experience the Emperor's daily challenges and reap exclusive rewards. Explore the Oversky and reap the rewards today.